Alright, the calamities continue. I'm trying to get to Arek's guitar this morning, and this is pretty funny. This is hilarious. There were a lot of comments made back when we installed this Guitar Fetish pre-assembled pickguard. Some people said it was good, some people said it was junk. I remember Arek making a comment about how junky he thought this switch was. And look what's happened to it. It's so funny. So I gave this cable a little bit of a jiggle here. You know, just how when you're identifying wires, you just kind of move wires around the way like that and just, oh, okay, that's where that one is. Anyway, I jiggled this one and it came clean off the little circuit board. It didn't take any force at all. And there you can see that's what came free. So there's the little part of the circuit board, your little solder point, which is now completely come right off there. And that was just from me doing this. Like, oh, okay, that's that wire. Yeah, that's that wire. You know how you do when you look around a little bit of wiring, you sort of sort wires out, and that one just pulled right off. Anyway, this switch is being replaced with the 5-way super switch, which I have spent all morning trying to work out what the hell this thing does. There's hardly any documentation on a Fender 5-way super switch at all. But I finally worked out what this does, and it's so easy. This is so simple. But there's hardly any documentation on this at all. But it couldn't be more simple. This is really quite a brilliant little thing, actually, when you think about it. Because really, all it does is it gives you your five standard positions plus your common, right? So that gets wired to your volume. Then it gives you 5 standard positions, but then it gives you that times 4. So what that allows you to do is, because of the switch, in every position that it's in, engages a set of lugs, so a top and a bottom lug on this side, and a top and a bottom lug on this side. So really what you're doing is you're engaging 4 separate connections in every position with the switch, which is really neat. Because what you can do is you can do your standard, say, neck, middle, bridge, and then you can do something funky like, you know, a combination of either one. And then for your tone pots, you can do something over on this side of the switch. You can do something interesting with your tone pots. So in this case, because Arek only wants a single tone pot, I'm going to wire a tone pot into one lug and then bridge that connection to every other position, so that in every single position he has engaged, doesn't matter where he is on the switch, it's going to, you can actually see the switch working here. This is so neat. I finally figured this just by looking at it. I finally figured out what this is doing. So you can see there, it engages this lug and the lug behind it, and then it engages that lug. So you can visually see what's it engaging. So that makes it really easy to figure out what you're going to do with this. Then you don't need to look at somebody else's wiring diagram. Then it's just a simple series of in and out. Then it becomes really easy. Once you worked out what this is actually doing, and I can't believe there's really very little information about these, because this couldn't be more simple. Anyway, I'm going to throw that into Arek's guitar, so we're going to end up with a few unique little switching positions. And we've also decided to put in there was a bit of miscommunication between me and him. This is what would have been my choice all along, but then yesterday he and I were texting, he's like, so what do you think? Are we going to put my old Fender pickups in the other 2 slots? I'm like, hell yeah we are. That would have been my choice. So anyway, yeah, these are potted. These have been potted. I actually have a bit of video of me doing that. So these have been potted. I messed one up and sent one to Will, but these two are fine. They've been tested numerous times. They work. They're totally fine, so they shouldn't squeal anymore, which is great. So I'll install those in the middle and the neck. And then his little Seymour Duncan dealio here, the little hot rails. We'll put that in the bridge, which is where he wants it. And so all this GFS crap is coming out of here. So all except for, so I'm going to pull one of these tone pots out of here. We're going to use just this original volume pot and one tone pot, and then my nice Fender Super Switch. And I'm not going to go replacing pots unless we need to. Unless they don't work, I'm not going to go buy expensive pots just to buy expensive pots. This is just a part that I had laying around. That's why we're doing this. This is like a $27 switch, but I just had this laying around, so that's the only reason we're doing this. Same thing with the orange drop cap. I had that laying around, so that's why we're doing that. Just looking for a good excuse to use it. But anyway, yeah, so this should be pretty neat. I'm going to go ahead and wire this, these two pickups in to the neck and middle, and then that to the bridge, and then we're going to put in our little Fender 5-way switch here, the Super Switch, which should be really neat because it's going to give us a few interesting little combinations. And this couldn't be more simple when you really think about it and you see visually what it's doing. This, just by looking at this now, is completely demystified to me. I've always wondered, what the hell is a switch doing? But now I completely, totally know. This couldn't be more simple. So I gotta find some clever way to explain this, like an explanation for dummies. Because it took me a long time to work this out in my head, but now I totally get what this is doing. Now this couldn't be more simple. Now that I've finally figured this out in my head, I'm kind of hitting myself thinking, oh wow, why did it take you so long to figure that out? Because that couldn't be more simple. It's simple and brilliant, is what it is. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Now I hate to disappoint, but the wiring is not going to happen right now in this particular video. But I will show you that. Anyway, I got Arek's fingerboard all conditioned yesterday. That was one thing I didn't do when I had this guitar last time. I gave it a really good clean. And I used some of Ben's conditioner, fretboard conditioner. Works really good. A few little drops on a rag, and it looks great. And then I also, because these are really vintage frets, I haven't done anything to these just like the last time. All I did was I gave these a really good polish. So I came at them with 3000 grit. I took all the scratches out of them. And then I gave them a really good polish with the good old, that stuff, the Neverdoll, and they came out great. So just a bit of preventative maintenance for these guys, just to keep them feeling, just to keep the whole fingerboard feeling like glass. But anyway, yeah, I'm still not feeling super great backside. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to film, but I do want to do a dummy video for this, because this couldn't be more simple. I'm trying to think of something clever for that. Try that again. Okay, let's catch up. I'm readying the 73 pickups for the neck and middle position. But to do that, I've had to extend the wires. Sorry. The one I've already wired up is going into the middle position, and this is going into the neck position. So we're just going to go ahead and make a nice clean connection there. There we go. Perfect. Slip that on there. And then we'll just use the heat from the soldering iron Put that on there a bit. Or you can use a lighter if you're careful. This works just as well. I personally like doing it with a lighter. It's just how I learned. Either way will work. Alright, so you're saying to yourself, wait a second there, hot dog, you gotta make sure those pickups work. Well, you're absolutely right. So, alright, exactly the same resistance as before for that one. Alright, so this one, this was the bridge pickup. 5.62. So I'm going to throw that in the neck because it's a bit hotter. And I'm going to throw the other one in the neck, in the middle. Okay, so what else am I up to? Oh boy, what else am I up to? Check that out, Batman. He wanted to lose one volume control, or one tone control. So I've got to relabel that because that's going to become volume and that's going to become the only tone. I got a switch there. That's going to be a kill switch. Yeah, buddy. Alright, kids are home. Video's over. That's it for today. Part 2 coming. Oh yeah. So I've made a custom little mount for it so that I can screw it to the pickguard. And it fits in there perfectly. Nice positive little switch to kill the signal. You won't accidentally hit that. Won't be in your way. But when you want to have a kill switch, away you go. So one volume, one tone. I've marked out the position I need to drill the holes in there for that. So I'll have a screw coming in from the front side to hold that tight. And then this is going to get soldered to my hot lead coming from the volume pot. Where are you? There you go. So that to there from the volume pot and this out to the output jack. There's your kill switch. Easy peasy 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 peasy.